Welcome to Down to Earth Astrology and Primal Girl Wellness. I am Ms. Jenny and I am your astrologer. This very brief video, is a reminder to help some of us navigate the weeks ahead and to, point out that when you have reached what you feel like is your limit, everything threatens to throw you like over the edge. So if you feel like you are stretched to capacity at this point, as if it were possible to stretch even more, every little thing is going to be even louder and more painful and more jarring and destabilizing. And it's not because these things are necessarily so overwhelming and powerful and life-changing. Some of them are, some of them aren't. A lot more of it has to do with we've hit our limit in terms of our resources, internal resources to cope and to deal with. So it's kind of like if you haven't been able to sleep for long periods of time, eventually the mind will snap. You can literally drive someone into a psychotic break by denying them deep REM sleep. We need that time off from all of this to get off the merry-go-round, to reset our brains and our nervous system so that we can deal. So if you don't meditate, I would strongly recommend that you start looking into it now as a practice. If you do mantras or prayer, whatever it is that you need to do to disconnect from all of this and kind of reboot the system, this is a great time to keep doing that. Now, I also just want to point out, because people are terrified, and with good reason. With good reason. I'm not saying that we shouldn't be, because of the major earth changes we're witnessing at an accelerated rate, right? Literally, we can't catch a break around here, anywhere on the planet. Freak storms, floods, just fires, pestilence. Oh my God. So there's a whole lot of people who are naturally looking for an explanation that makes sense, that's easy. And for some people, this is, oh my God, it's the end of the world, because it looks like that. But I'm here to remind you that Uranus and Taurus brought this because it challenges our physical resources, and it gives us, remember this, it gives us the opportunity to discover our inner genius. One of the most amazing things about Uranus is that it will show you how to be more resourceful out of necessity. Okay? So for all of these challenges that we're facing, it's giving us the opportunity to literally find a better way in a hurry. And the only way you're going to find anything that's a better way in a hurry is if it is simple and efficient. So we are literally being forced to and challenged to examine ourselves and how we're dealing with structures and systems and reconsidering our values, Taurus, priorities, Taurus, okay, and our global community, because we're all on the planet together, Uranus, and find a better way to protect these things, the climate, the earth, right, the big earth changes. So it could look like the earth is coming to an end, the world is coming to an end, but that doesn't necessarily tell the whole picture, because that's not necessarily true. Remember the story about the man who was caught in a flood, and as the floods were coming in, the police and the fire trucks came by to get him and evacuate him from the area because the flood was coming. And he said, no, my God will save me. I'll be fine. My faith alone will carry me. Okay, well, we can't make you go. Got people to save. So they left, and the floodwaters kept rising, and now the floodwaters had risen up to the second floor of the house. So he moved up to the second floor of the house, and he's, standing there in the window, and now a boat is coming by to rescue him and evacuate him with other people who were too stubborn to leave the first time, right? And his response was, no, I'm not going to go. My faith will save me. My God will save me. So, okay, buddy, we got people to save. It's, listen, that's your choice. So they left. Now, the flood keeps rising, and it's up to the roof line. The man is on the roof of his house. The water is everywhere. There's literally no dry land in sight. And a helicopter comes by, right? And you throw down a rope. Climb up. We're here to evacuate you. And he says, nope. My faith is strong, and I know my God will save me. I will not leave here. My God will protect me. Okay, we got people to evacuate. We're not going to fight with you. All right. So the helicopter goes on and evacuates and rescues other people. Now the man is standing at the pearly gates talking to the angels, or talking to God, whoever's up there he's talking to. And he's hurt, he's confused, he's dismayed, he feels betrayed. I had complete and absolute faith in you. I devoted my life to my faith in you. I was a good servant, and you let me die. How could you do this to me? Why didn't you save me? And the response was, I did try to save you. When the fire truck came by, that was me. When the boat came by, that was me. When the helicopter came by, that was me. You refused my help because it wasn't coming in the way you thought it should. I tried to save you, but you wouldn't save yourself. So remember that story. When we look at the earth changes we're dealing with right now, all of these things are happening not because it's the end of the world. It's because we've been given many opportunities to save ourselves. But it's up to us to do it. We have to accept the help that's being sent to us. Because sometimes divine intervention comes in ways that we aren't expecting, and shapes and forms that are not what we thought they would be. So right now we're probably at the boat level, the boat reaching the second floor of the house. We're not quite at helicopter levels yet, but we're getting there. So it could theoretically be the end of the world if you choose to stand around helplessly, saying, no, my faith will lift me and God will save me, and completely ignore the fact that everything you need to be saved is being delivered to you. But you have to participate in that process. You have to say, I will accept this help and I will do this thing and I will participate in it, even though it's not what I expected it to look like. So that's Uranus and Taurus, and we're going to be with Uranus and Taurus for quite some time. So it's important that we keep that story in mind, because this is where we're at. This is literally where we're at. So you have two choices. You can be fatalistic and just throw your hands up in the air and give up, and cry, and do nothing. Or you can remember that story and understand that Uranus and Taurus is giving us an opportunity to save ourselves. Okay, so there's that. I'm just saying, it's a lot. We're all tired. We're all really tired. But it's good to remember some things, right? So if you have the opportunity to do anything to assist, participate, promote, or otherwise get involved in solution finding, not wringing your hands and agonizing, but solution finding in terms of the climate and taking care of the planet, and not believing this nonsense that the world is going to come to end because we're all horrible people and are going to die, then you should absolutely do anything and everything you can, even in the smallest ways, to contribute and participate, because it matters. Remember, fire truck, boat, helicopter. I was there all those times trying to save you. So there's that. Now, also too, Pluto is in Capricorn, at the end of Capricorn, those last degrees of Capricorn. And we also know that when Pluto moved into Capricorn, it was it was definitely going to shake up power structures. We knew that was going to happen. And we knew the old guard was going to get challenged. And certainly patriarchal systems were really going to get hammered. So, and this is what we're looking at. And if you step back and take a look, one of the things that you're going to see is that there is panic amongst the ranks of people who have been benefiting and supported by old ways of doing things. The old world that they lived in, that they benefited by, doesn't exist anymore. It's been gradually giving way to change and progress in the future. Nothing ever stays the same. Nothing. The dinosaurs thought it would be the world they lived in forever. And you see what happened to them, right? Because the world is constantly moving forward and changing, with or without us. So Pluto in those last degrees of Capricorn is really putting the final nails in the coffin in terms of old systems and old structures and old power dynamics. Pluto's power. So we're seeing some people really kick up a storm here and really go for broke in terms of panicking and trying to whip everybody up. And you'll hear it often in these ridiculous, civil war. It's not a civil war. That's a massacre you're talking about. Totally different conversation, right? So let's not whitewash that. So, the thing about it is, again, I want to remind you, especially as we go through these last 3 degrees of Capricorn with Pluto, dark forces, or demons, if you want to call them demons, or the devil, if you want to call it devil, but dark forces thrive on misery, suffering, and chaos. Any person at any point in time can lose their light and forget that they have a light inside of them, and give into the influence of dark forces and become an agent of dark forces. And they do that by perpetuating chaos, suffering, and misery, right? We used to call these people troublemakers, We still do. Okay, but right now, at this point in time in our evolution, there's a tremendous push from dark forces because we are on the precipice of great change, and these forces thrive in chaos. So they're out and about having a field day right now because they're in their element at this time while we're going through the messy chaos of change. The important thing is that we don't feed into that. We have to guard against that in ourselves. We have to mind and maintain the light within ourselves and not become agents of suffering, chaos, and misery. Okay, and we also have to watch the people around us that they are not also doing that. And if they are doing that, recognize that this is where this is coming from. Some people are naturally low energy people. They're troublemakers. That's all they do is stir up tempest and teapot, constantly making chaos around them. We know these people. We've known these people from childhood. They don't really change. That's just they're low vibration people. Gotta have mud to grow plants. But you are not a low energy person, and your job is to be vigilant about guarding and protecting and radiating, shining your light out into the darkness so other people can find their way. And also recognizing when this is operative in other people. So if you find yourself or you find other people you know and are close to are waking up literally fueled by anger, hatred, outrage, this is they're succumbing to the darkness. They're succumbing to dark energies because dark energy thrives on that. One of the things that I also want to point out right now is that as Mars goes through Gemini, remember I said Mars is going to be in Gemini for a while now. And Mars and Gemini is really going to have the talking heads, like really, oh my God. I've never been so sick of Gemini in my life. Gemini and Aries. Gemini, mostly because we're dealing with lawyers, right? And politicians are lawyers. They're lawmakers. That's a politician. A politician is a lawmaker. Remember that. So who you elect in the office is the person who's going to make these laws that will apply to you. Probably not them, because with enough money in the United States, at least, I don't know about other countries, you can certainly buy your own justice and get your get out of jail free card if you have enough money to pay for it. But for the rest of us down here, all those laws, as ridiculous as they are, as comforting as they might be in this time of wanting to hang on to the past, if the only product of this thing is chaos, misery, and suffering, if the only way they can get you to support it is by pushing these feelings of outrage and hatred and anger, right? Chaos, misery, and suffering in you. If that's the only way they can mobilize you to support whatever they're doing, you're being played. You're being played. Remember, these people who are making these rules and making these laws, these policymakers, even at the local levels, down at your state and county governments, they're not subject to the same rules and penalties you are for violating these things. They've got buddies and connections and friends and money. They can buy their way and talk their way and network their way right out of the trouble. You, on the other hand, are not going to get that kind of a free pass, nor will your children or grandchildren. So, chaos, misery, and suffering, those are your three key words when you're dealing with agents of darkness or dark energies. Because that's what they thrive in, that's what they want, that's what they'll create more of, and that's what they will encourage you to wallow in. So if you see that in yourself or in other people, understand what's happening and hang on to your light and maintain it even more vigilantly. Because we're going to be seeing a lot of that, especially when Mars goes through Gemini and, this tempest in a teapot sort of whipping stuff up. Now, I know you're tired. We're all tired. But the other thing, too, is that we've got one more pass of Jupiter through Pisces next year. And it's a short, fast pass. And that will literally be the icing on the cake. So in terms of our evolution, and our ability to get through this without ending up at the pearly gates asking God why he didn't save us, and then realizing he was trying to save us all along, this would be a really good time to get your mind right, and to not let yourself be too overwhelmed by what's going on. Step back and take a look at what's happening, right? We are heading in the right direction, but it's never easy and it's never neat. But you have to participate. So know that we're going in the right direction. We're getting there. It's going to be okay. Do not let the vocal minority bully you and scare you into silence or surrender. Because at this time, the people who are the loudest and the most angry and violent and bullying are also the largest minority, because the old world is gone. It's been gone. There's no way, it's never coming back. And they may know that, but they don't like it and they don't understand that, and they're not completely sure how to adapt to a new world. So they're panicking, you know. And if that's all you can muster for compassion for them, then maybe even just muster that. But know that you and what you're willing to believe and what you're willing to repeat and what you're willing to support and validate in conversation with words, all of these things have power and influence. So resist the urge to feed into this, civil war nonsense, right? Resist the urge to take things at face value when they're coming from people whose only goal in life is to either get more eyeballs and ears on their channel, television, YouTube, video, pick one, right? Or they're literally trying to feed into your insecurities and your vanity and your fears, right? So that they can do whatever they want, because all they want is power and they need you to give that to them. Okay? So when you listen to people, look at that and keep that as your marker as far as who to take seriously and who to really kind of dial back the rhetoric on, and also to do your own research. If whatever this is only fuels your sense of helplessness and despair and terror, that this is it, there's nothing we can do and this is what it is, and oh my God, we're all gonna die. If that's the only thing in you that it sparks and fuels, those are agents of darkness. Those are dark energies, you know, that are creating this illusion around you because they want you to suffer. They want you to be in misery. They want chaos. They want you so discombobulated in your head that you can't think clearly and you can't see the light right in front of you. We're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. It may not feel like it some days. And again, August is a Uranus ruled month, and boy, we're feeling it. I am not immune. I'm not going to get into it, but I'm telling you, like, I'm like, where the hell did that come from, right? So I'm getting it too. And it's not easy, but you have to know, step back and look. You have to know we're going to get there. We're going to get there. All right. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Talk soon.